My name is Emily Stewart, and I'm going to be sharing with you a presentation on Christian counseling. We're going to be sharing about the what, how, and the why of the profession. I'm going to share a little bit of my background with you guys. As you guys already know, I grew up in a family with you as a pastor and you as a Christian counselor. And so I feel like I'm inclined to talk about this topic because of the wisdom you guys have instilled in me. So as I go on to this profession, just keep that in mind. The first thing I want you guys to think about is my main point for the presentation, is that biblical counseling is an honorable profession where one can help those who are in need by offering professional advice on a variety of subjects from a biblical standpoint. Now, let's go to the what of our presentation. Now, this is the definition of a Christian counselor. A Christian counselor is an individual whose main goal is to use their scientific knowledge of one's mental constitution and combine it with a biblical application to help others feel, think, and act in a way that would please God. Next, let's look at some of the things that a Christian counselor would be responsible for, such as the application process and forms, keeping notes during sessions, preparing lessons, assembling applicable homework for the client, and scheduling their appointments. Next, we're going to look at the how. How would one become a Christian counselor? First, you need a master's in psychology or another applicable degree program. You need upwards of 500 internship hours under a licensed professional. This can't just be any professional. It has to be approved by the state, and it has to be someone who has their license, has a master's in psychology, and all the stuff we're talking about right now. And a passing grade on the NCE. Now, this is the National Counselor Examination, and it has 200 true or false questions. But don't worry too much about it if you guys choose to become a biblical counselor, because it has a review guide that you can go over for all of the questions. And the third is the why. Why would one want to become a biblical counselor? Now, this is the most important part of our presentation, so please try to listen up on this part. Although a generous pay scale and many occupational options are important, they're not the most important at this point, but I thought they were important to touch on. If you have 5 or more years of experience, you can make $35,000 to $75,000 a year. And you can charge from $2,500 to $100 per session. And now the occupational options that are available, there are many of them, as one may not expect from such a specific profession. You can work in a church, a private office, a school, foster care or adoption agencies. You can work in funeral homes, homeless shelters, and even hospitals. Some hospitals will hire on Christian counselors. Next, we're going to look at the most important point of our why, and that is that Christian counseling can be used as a platform to honor God on a daily basis. First, one of the most important points of this point is sharing the gospel. Stuart W. Scott really puts it well when he says, "True help and change can only occur as the client comes to know, trust, and embrace who God really is depicted in Scripture." As a Christian counselor, if one does not understand who God is, you will not be able to help them from the biblical standpoint. Next, we're going to look at listening to the client's needs. Now, this is important because a lot of counselors overlook this small issue. They are so focused on giving advice that they don't really truly stop and listen to what the client needs. Instead, they impose what they think the client needs. Thirdly, it's consistently showing them godly love. Now, one way to do this would be to bring them directly to the Scriptures and what godly love is. I'm going to read for you 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. "Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist in its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And the last point of our why is rejoicing in their triumphs. This again is overlooked a lot of the time by Christian counselors. They're so focused on helping clients see their problems and helping them see the solutions to those problems that they don't actually stop and rejoice when the client graduates from their program. 2 Corinthians 12:26 said, "And when one member suffered, all the members suffer with it," which Christian counselors are very apt to do. They're apt to have a lot of compassion and suffer with their clients. But this one they're not so apt to do. Or when one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. I just want to review with you real quick our points. The what? A Christian counselor is an individual whose main goal is to use scientific knowledge of one's mental constitution and combine it with the biblical application to help others feel, think, and act in a way that would please God. Just wanted to go over this again because if you don't remember this, my whole speech is void. The next is the how, the Master's in Psychology, the internship hours, and the passing on the NCE. And the why, which was the pay scale, the occupational options, and of course all the ways that Christian counseling can be used as a platform to honor God. I just want to end with this quote from Billy Graham. The highest form of worship is the worship of unselfish Christian service. The greatest form of praise is the sound of consecrated feet seeking out the lost and helpless. I feel like this really describes Christian counseling in the very essence of it. So I'm just going to read it one more time and think about it in that aspect. The highest form of worship is the worship of unselfish Christian service. The greatest form of praise